This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm joined down in London today, joined by Daley in the Bronx gym. It's been a while since I last saw you. I think it was in Ireland. Yep. And then I think we did a Zoom straight after that to catch up. Been busy the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, busy preparing for the opening of my gym and then trenches. And then, we're staying focused, staying in shape, staying ready and prepared for the final for Kenny. Then I've got my pro fighters. I think they'll be out in October. Deji might be out in October, so there's a lot going on. So with Deji, we're just waiting to see if he will be or he won't be.
Okay, that's fair enough. So you got Kenny, Deji, Martin Foru. The fighter I haven't seen in ages, George Mitchell. I haven't seen him in a while. Anyone else? Or was that it?
No, that's it. I'll be run down to the ground if it was more than that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think I saw on your story as a while back, you're like, I ain't training no one else. Ain't got the time. We'll start with King Kenny. He's got Gib. I know he took a little holiday, about a week off, and then he's back in it straight away.
Yeah, let me tell you something, Leon, yeah? You're
See,
getting it.
I told you it'd happen.
I'm joking.
That's the thumbnail. That's the title. Cheers. No, Jake Paul's going after Leon, so you leave Jake to go after him. You're all right.
Yeah. No, me and Leon are cool, man. You know what I mean? But, yeah, we have to... It's good. It's competitive, you know? We're in the final, so...
I'll do an interview you and Leon both together on camera in fight week, and we'll see how it goes down. Talk about Gib. I think the first time I interviewed you at the gym, not the first time, but before the tournament started, you were saying you wish you got Gib first, you got him last. Does that change anything? I guess it's more of an advantage. You see how he improves and how he boxes throughout the tournament.
It don't change anything, whether you get him first or whether you get them last. You know, you're going to have to fight them anyway, you know, no matter which order it's in. So we're prepared. We're prepared for anyone. So it's not really about the name. We're professional and we train well. We're always learning and progressing and ready for the next challenge.
Certainly, that sounds fair enough. I guess when I talk to people about this fight, people say it depends what Kenny turns up, depends what happens. That's only judging Kenny off his his loss to actually Raxu back in February. Since then, he's quite a changed fighter. Do you think that now we see a consistent King Kenny?
Yeah, but the thing is, what people don't understand, Kenny's still learning. And part of learning as well is understanding what weight he should be. So we only realize going into this tournament that actually he's more suited at the weight he's at in the tournament, which is 77 kilos, which basically is like a super middleweight, let's call it. Before that, he's fighting at a weight that he shouldn't have been fighting at. So if you want to look at it as pure boxing terms, Kenny's at the right weight now, and he wasn't before, you know? So all those fights before, they were good lessons. Now he's at the right weight, so he's feels like a fighter now. It's totally different. When you're losing weight, you're at the right weight, you're cutting weight, it makes you feel different. As I said, like with all my fighters, when it comes to fight week and it's those last few pounds that you're getting off, it's a different mindset you go through. And I start doing pads with them and they start trying to beat me up, you know, because they start getting that spite in them, that energy that it's time to go, you know. When they start doing that, that's when I stop doing pad work with them, because it's like there's no more to do now, they're ready. So, Kenny's learned a lot, even from the Raxu fight. And thinking about it now, Raxu was massive compared to Kenny. So I'm happy that he's at this weight now.
Then it's influence boxing. You can't be too picky about the weight, which I think a lot of people have to understand. But now more and more people come in the scene.
Yeah, when the check is right, we ain't going to worry about the weight. So if Jake Paul came to us, that's a different story. And he goes, we're fighting at 183 pounds. Hell yeah, we're fighting at 183 pounds. That's a different story. But if we're trying to be sensible as well, you know, still get the big fights, but still try and be at the weight that he fights best at, you know. Because if you want to see the best Kenny, it's going to be at the weight he is at this tournament, not at 183 pounds. That 183 pounds, KSI isn't even that weight, is he?
No, he fights at 180.
Exactly. So KSI fights his best when he's lost weight and he's cut weight and he's at the right weight. So why not give my brother the opportunity to fight at the weight that he's best at, so people can see the best version of him?
Okay, I want to get you in trouble here. KSI and Deji, they went on the Sidemen podcast, and Deji claimed he's technically better than KSI. Do you agree? I agree. Yeah, I'm not gonna. That's fair. Your team, Deji, you're his coach.
Yeah.
It'd be bad if you didn't agree, almost.
Yeah, exactly. No, I do agree, because obviously what I'm trying to teach Deji and all my fighters is the sweet science. So I'm obviously going to turn around and say, yeah, Deji's got the better fundamentals. But what I like about KSI is you can't teach heart, you can't teach grit, you can't teach having spite, you can't teach someone with having the right mentality to want to work hard and dedicate themselves to the sport. So that's why it makes KSI a very dangerous fighter when you're in there with him, because if you're not disciplined like he is, then you're in trouble.
Certainly. I got 2 more points before I let you go. I flew in yesterday from the Jake Paul fight back in Dallas. There was 18,000 people in there, and I think about 16,000 of them were there for Nate Diaz. I was quite surprised. I thought Jake would get cheered a lot more, but he got booed quite a bit. Which is normal, but it was very, very loud in the arena, sold out, but it was quite definitely really loud in there. Are you surprised at Jake Paul's performance? I mean, a lot of people are saying that he hadn't improved too much. I'm just going on what I've seen on Twitter and the critics, saying he hadn't improved too much since last time out against Tommy.
No, I don't think he's improved. I think he's probably one of his best performances was against Anderson Silva. But yeah, I don't see any improvement. I think... the energy for Nate Diaz was good. When he come out for these ring entrants and got in the ring, it was crazy. When he tried to go, I was talking to it with my brother. My brother was saying he's tried to go for him in the first round and let all these punches go and stuff. And I think that made him a bit tired. I mean, it's hard to say, man, because obviously, you know, when you've got certain people around you, you know, you've got to be very careful who you have in your team and stuff, and if they're doing it for the right reasons. Because if you've got someone that is not progressing, then it's like, what are you doing kind of thing. I saw a lot of things where he can improve on, like his inside game. Nate Diaz, obviously, I know he's good at inside work because he's an MMA fighter.
All the clinching.
Yeah, and all that stuff. But... I don't think Jake Paul has learned how to deal with pressure, or fighting off the back foot, or using a simple thing like a useful jab. So there's all those little things. But then again, on the flip side, it's like Jake Paul, look what he's done for the sport of boxing. As much as people ain't gonna like it, I was one of those people that didn't like it at first, but I've gained to respect the influencer scene and what he's done for influencer boxing. He's put in shows on that are not influencer boxing for prospects, you know,
Ashton Sylve.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the way he's doing it properly as well. He's not putting on these shows in big arenas for these prospects. You know, they're like nice little small arenas. So he's realistic with it, and he's trying to improve the game, give him better pay, exposure, and all that. And you can't knock, just the same as KSI, you can't knock his work ethic and his willingness to want to get to where he wants to get to in boxing. So you can't knock that. I do think if he fights KSI, that it is, based on what I've said, it truly is a 50-50 fight.
Certainly. One last point. I was watching Spence and Crawford in America. It felt very weird not kind of wiping your eyes at 4 a.m. in the morning after. You can go out for food straight after because it's at 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. So it's very, very good. Were you surprised that kind of Crawford didn't put as much of a fight up against... Sorry, Spence didn't put as much of a fight up against Crawford in it? I picked Crawford to win. I didn't think it would go the way it did though. I thought it'd be by decision, but he stopped him.
Yeah, I said Crawford in round 9 or 10.
Oh, really? You thought, well, I didn't...
Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to stop him. and beat him up badly. You know, it's a bit like, even though Gatti was over the hill, it was a bit like when Floyd had that defining fight against Otoro Gatti, and he showed unbelievable boxing ability and skill and absolutely brutally beat him up to the point where Gatti corner, they quit. So it was just like that. I think Errol Spence, amazing fighter, got heart, very technical, but I think, because I always said Crawford, he can do it all. If you want to stand there and fight with him, he'll do it. If you want to try walk him down, he'll have an answer for it. If he wants to walk you down, he'll walk you down with ease. He's just one of those fighters that, a bit like Floyd, where he can do absolutely everything. The defense as well was on point. So I actually thought it was going to be an easy fight.
Well, I didn't think it was. I thought it would be kind of a 50-50 boxers fight, and then later rounds you'd find out who would win. But no, I was surprised by the stoppage, to be honest. I thought it would go decision, but I guess
I'll tell you one thing. I'd rather get knocked out than get beaten up like that.
Yeah.
If you ask any real fighter, would they rather get knocked out or beaten up like the way Crawford beat up Errol Spence? They say, I'd rather get knocked out and then come back again, you know. But it's very hard to come back after a beating like that.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. When you get beaten up like that, it's very hard to come back.
Because always PBC fighters, they fight like once a year anyway. Once, every like 1-2 years. So Spence will be out. I reckon Spence will be out for the next year and a half at least until he fights again.
And you've got to remember he had the car crash and everything and stuff like that. I don't think he's been quite right since then. I personally think he's going to do it, the rematch.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, he's already said it. He's taken the option up to do the rematch. I think that's just... I understand it from a business sense because...
Is it not going to be a high weight class, though, the rematch? 154, I think they're saying.
So the rematch clause, I think, don't quote me, but I think Crawford has the right now to decide whether he wants to do it at this weight, their current weight, or go up to 154.
I reckon, because he was beefing with Charlo before he stopped and was shouting down at Charlo, I reckon he'll go up at 154 and then, then go fight Charlo, his teammate, straight after.
I can see that, because Charlo is fighting Canelo. So if he's fighting Canelo, he'll fight Spence in the rematch at 154 to prepare him for Charlo. I can see that. But I can also see, if I was Crawford, why would I do it at 154? If he wants the rematch, let's keep him where he's uncomfortable, you know?
If Crawford wants to fight to ease into the weight class at 154.
You know what? I think Crawford's one of those fighters that don't need to ease into the weight class. I just think he's that good. He's that good that he can just walk into that weight class and beat him up.
Certainly. Awesome, that's great. When's the new gym opening then? Do you reckon 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Well, I'll be in there within the next 2 weeks.
Wasn't it end of May you were like, Fred, it's going to be open?
I know, but, you know, when you're trying to make things all nice and pretty and stuff, you know, there's going to be a few setbacks and then, you know, deliveries, you're waiting for certain parts and all this kind of stuff, which, you know, obviously we were optimistic and, you know...
Very optimistic.
In the beginning. But it's going to be worth it, you know, and that's all everyone's going to hear about is Trenches boxing, trust me.
Trenches caps. I'll buy a red t-shirt off you, then we wear it at the interview. But Daley, thank you, that's great.
No problem. See you at Trench Town soon.
Trench Town.